What up, guys? Welcome to Barbell Brigade. I'm Bart.
I'm Charlie.
I'm Lou.
And I'm Silent Mike.
So everyone knows how important sleep and recovery is to your training, because that's where you get stronger and that's where all your bro science, muscular, whatever.
HGH.
HGH, that's where all that stuff happens. But what happens when you can't sleep, and do you guys have any remedies to help with that?
You mean like I'm having trouble going to sleep, or like, oh, I have to take care of my kids during the day and work at night or something?
Trouble going to sleep.
Oh.
I have trouble going to sleep all the time.
Me too. I read a bunch of articles on that because like years ago, because I had similar things. And like some of mine, I think was related to like anxiety. Like my head won't stop thinking. I bet Charlie has similar things.
Yeah.
But Charlie also goes nuts all day, so he might be tired at the end of the day. But
Pretty much crap.
yeah, so I have like a bunch of anxiety. My head wouldn't stop. So like just like simple things.
By
Like,
anxiety, do you mean thoughts, or do you
Both.
mean like 3 monsters at 8 p.m.?
no. Thoughts. I've always cut out caffeine at like 3 o'clock.
Oh, okay.
Because I knew I'd had trouble sleeping since probably like 6th grade.
Because I have a lot of friends, they're like, oh, I
Yeah,
can't
yeah,
sleep.
yeah.
It's because I have all these thoughts.
Yeah.
And I see them drinking coffee at 8 p.m. and I'm
No.
like, it's not your thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you're just drinking coffee way too late.
I drink a ton of caffeine, but I cut it at 3.
I was thinking about the coffee that I drank.
Like the old school stuff is just like a cold room.
Yeah.
They also show like a bunch of health benefits for that. So like 68 degrees or colder. That could be our new boy band.
Oh, true.
It was 68 degrees.
A comfortable bed, all that bullshit. Not looking at screens for a while is super important. They talk about like putting down your phone, putting down the TV, putting down shit like that, like hours before. And so those are kind of the main things that I stick to. And then not eating too close to sleep. Personally, I think that's more of a personal thing. And it's not because of diet and whatever. It's just because like on a full stomach, maybe your blood's rushing or whatever. You know, you get energy from the food you eat. And so then I just chill.
I mean, me, dude, I have horrible time sleeping sometimes. Like, I'll take melatonin, I'll do tea, I'll try to count in my
Tea
head.
as in like testosterone? Or?
No, like sleepy time tea.
Dude, I took melatonin. It gave me the weirdest dreams. Super vivid.
Melatonin does not work on me, dude. It does not work.
How much are you taking though? Because I also heard like there's a specific amount, it's like 1 to 3 grams, and anything past it or something, it actually has a reverse effect.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's a
This guy's taking like 8 pills.
Damn,
Take
maybe
one.
that's why.
It did give me fucked up dreams though.
He's like, I just took 4 times the amount.
Yeah.
Dude, I started with 3 milligrams and then that didn't work, so I took 12 and then I've taken.
That's logical, right? 3 doesn't work. Why would we go to 4 or 5?
Why
Times
don't you go,
four.
why don't you go
Times
to 2?
I don't know.
Because they say the sweet spot is 1 to 3 grams.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang, no wonder.
Learn something every day.
Yeah, bro. Damn. Don't listen to me about the melatonin.
Sleepy tea didn't work.
Nah, tea doesn't work. I mean, I have even tried like sometimes meditation, but the same thing happens for me even if I don't consume caffeine. Like my mind starts thinking, I need to do this tomorrow. I need to train tomorrow. I need to eat tomorrow. I need to get this done. So like if I'm laying in bed, I'm starting to think about all these different things that I need to do. I've even tried to like count to like 100 and it doesn't work sometimes, you know, but
Do you read?
I do read.
People say reading, but I hate reading.
So have you guys ever fallen asleep in class?
Never.
In class?
No.
Yeah. Like in school?
In school.
I was never awake in class. That was my biggest problem.
Nap time?
If I wasn't screwing around, I was asleep, and I think that was a big hindrance for my education.
Yeah, because I'm always sleeping in class, so I kind of just channel that. Like,
Really?
yes, when I'm just laying in bed, I'm
You
just
start
like,
thinking about your professors?
yeah, I just start thinking about some boring stuff, and then the boring thing in like less than 2 minutes turns into a dream, and then I'm just sleeping now.
Yeah.
But I feel like you could fall asleep anywhere though.
Yeah, I can fall asleep really fast.
Not me.
I think early on, like with me too, like I used to have so many things going on. I used to let so many thoughts kind of like distract me. And I think that a lot of times, and we were just talking about this in the car when we were kind of flying in too, is that like, I really believe that you can live for a moment or in a moment. So if you're living for a moment, a lot of times you're thinking about the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, which is what's gonna hinder you from having that peace or that rest. So if you live in the moment sometimes, particularly as you're focusing on the conclusion of your day, maybe just like a reflection of your day and like, okay, like I feel dope that I accomplished like these things. I have other things I want to do, but you know what? Tomorrow's a new day. And maybe just being more so at peace with you did what you can do today, but you won't be productive for tomorrow if you're not taking that time to rest. So using rest as like a benefit or as a new opportunity for the new day. And that's kind of what I'm doing now is like, it's easy to get overwhelmed. Like I got the gym, I got, work, I got all these other things, or I got these relationships or these people, different things. I'm like, you know what? They're asleep right now. I can't do anything for them. I'm not at the gym. I'm not here. I'm not there. this is time for rest. I can work on all those things tomorrow. And one of the things with like scattered thoughts that I really found helped me out a lot, my buddy Chad kind of helped me out with this. Whether it's a note that you put on your phone, I personally like to like write it out. Like write out everything you need to accomplish. And then every time you accomplish something, just put a line through it.
That's what I do.
And it's like, if you do that, you're like, dope, it's done. Like, cool. And then if at the end of the night, you're still worried about all these things, just maybe even go back to that paper like, I actually got like 4 things out of my 20 done, but that's 4 things that I have finished. And I think that's a kind of a cool way, a good tool you could use to do those things. It helps.
That's what I do. I have like a list of notes because I think if I don't, then I'll have all those racing thoughts. So my notes go from anywhere from like random like business ideas to like just yesterday. So I've been adding box jumps into the regimen to be more athletic. And then I was like, wait, instead of doing box jumps, maybe I should do backboard touches to be more sport specific.
Yeah.
And then so I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. So I'll write backboard touches under like my fitness notepad. And then now after I write that down, then I just completely forget about it. And I know that I already kind of got that little golden nugget that I had and just put it away. Yeah.
Talking about Lou, mentioning meditation, I want to try deprivation tanks. That's one.
Or you float in the salt water?
I heard the first time you do it, you can't even fall asleep because the feeling is just so crazy.
I just want to try that. I think that'll help me chill.
I would like to try that too. I mean, I've heard that like also the same thing, that the first time it's a little weird, but once you get used to it and a little bit comfortable, like that, like your thoughts completely shut down. You know, you start kind of reflecting and then you start kind of calming down, which is hard to do sometimes when you're like at home, because when you're at home, you know, like you get distracted by so many different things, you know, whether it's your phone or TV. It's hard to really shut down, because I know a lot of like young kids are not gonna put down their phone and try to meditate. Like that's not really realistic. Like,
Well, it might be like, how do you do that?
yeah, like
Let's meditate.
they're gonna be like, I don't.
You mean drugs?
Yeah.
You say medicate?
Yeah, they might need to actually. So I mean, they're probably gonna need to, man.
Advice from Blue.
Do you guys fall asleep during massages?
Every time.
Me too.
Within like a minute of somebody touching me like that, like a massage, I'm out.
I'm always sleeping during massages.
But you know what I was gonna actually say with the meditation, those different things too, and you mentioned massage, which is cool because you're thinking the same way. The first time you get a massage that you've ever got one, you're like, oh shit, someone's kind of touching me, it's kind of weird. So you're actually kind of tense, but you're not allowing them to like break through that muscle or let you relax. Once you become comfortable in understanding that you're supposed to relax, once you just completely let go, rest will happen, right?
Yeah.
So maybe that's one of the other things with not being able to sleep. Like, be able to completely let go of your day, and then the only thing you can do is rest. Maybe that will help.
Most of my massages are like fucking massages, so I
Really?
don't really sleep.
Oh,
Like,
you're getting like pain ones?
Yeah. I'm not like getting a massage just to relax.
I even fall asleep during those ones.
Really?
Yeah.
You gotta go see my chick. You won't fall asleep.
really? It's
Oh no,
that
dude,
painful.
it fucking hurts.
Oh, you're talking about like body work.
Yeah.
Yeah, body work might be hard to relax during. Yeah.
I just feel like for me, like if because like I have a hyperactive mind, like I have to wake up early. If I wake up early, like I'm gonna be exhausted by the end of the day. Like if I wake up late and then I'll have caffeine like around 3, like I'll still kind of feel it like around 10 or 11, you know. So I mean, a suggestion that I would tell like to a lot of young people is like try to, you know, remove the caffeine late at night. Try to start your day really early.
Yeah, that helps.
And try to set a routine, because I think a lot of people spread themselves out all the time. You know, they don't set a time, like a consistent time to sleep, and that could actually really help with trying to get as much rest as possible, which is going to help you get stronger and recover.
I think exercise in general is just a tip too, if you guys don't obviously already.
And not to make
yourself out, not
to
sitting
make
at a desk.
Oh, so go ahead, sorry. But not to make it like a pitch for Apple or anything, but with the new iOS update, I was sitting there and I was setting my alarm, and there's like a sleep calculator. And I was like, everyone knows that like 8 hours is pretty much like a sweet spot for sleep, right? Of what's recommended.
I need like 9.
And then you have like this, like, I could show it, like, it's like when you go to bed, and then you can calculate when you would wake up to reach that 8. So it's like, oh shit, if I go to bed at 10, I'm only gonna get 4 or 5. But when you could actually see that and know the benefits of getting sleep, it's a lot easier to go, oh shit, I need to go to bed. Because when you're kind of your own boss, like in your own life, like I'll go to bed when I want to, you kind of pay for that on the end. But with that app, it's kind of dope because you're like, I only need 7 hours. So you can be like, okay, I need to go to bed here because my day starts here. And you're like, oh, this is when it's really simple. I should just go to bed at this time and then wake up at this time.
Yeah.
We've all been in the fitness game for a long, long time. And a lot of us, when we started, sometimes we get advice from people that are not so good at giving advice, what are some of the worst fitness advice you've ever gotten?
The worst fitness advice I've ever.
So I have two.
Yeah, lead the way.
One of mine was, so I used to train at Bally Total Fitness. And in high school, everyone has like the thumb away from the knurling rule. When you first learn how to bench, so everyone's like, oh yeah, put your thumb away from the knurling. So that's how I was benching.
Suicide grip.
No, I was just benching like this, like regular.
Okay.
And then this big ass dude in a ponytail and a stringer came up to me.
That's how it goes.
And he goes, "You're benching like a bitch." and I'm like 15 years old, so I'm like, "Oh fuck, I am." Because this guy looks
Show me,
huge.
bro. Show me the
I said,
way.
"What do you do?" And he goes, "You gotta bench as wide as possible, because the wider you bench, the thicker and wider your chest is." And I'm like, "That makes sense." So I started benching like this, and then I started getting like rotator cuff issues and all that. And I was like, "Oh, my shoulder's being a bitch now." So I just made everything wide. Like my overhead press was just wide and everything. And then later on, I found out that you're just you're leaving your shoulder open to injury. Everything has to be properly externally rotated. And then so I brought my bench way back in, but that was like one of the worst things I was ever told.
Those guys always give advice.
Yeah.
I don't know if like a person gave it to me, but just like reading magazines or whatever, it's just like probably just obliterate a muscle. You know, like choose like tricep Monday, and you just fucking do
Destroy it.
6 exercises.
I love that.
4 sets, all 20 reps,
Yeah.
as heavy as you can fucking go,
Yeah.
all just triceps.
Yeah.
And that fucking hurt.
Have you guys ever done the add an inch to your arms in 24 hours?
I've
workout?
read it, but I've never done it. It's like 4 bicep workouts in one day with like food in between.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, in the gym, it was just like lift as much as you can, because that's gonna help you build as much size as possible, you know. And it was like, oh, if your form breaks down, it's okay because you're you're hitting really heavy weights, so you just gotta try to push through as much as possible. And I remember like I would like box squat like 7 plates.
Yeah, you told me.
And I would fucking like overload with like 6 plates, and I would do like a quarter squat or like not even like a 3 or 1/5 squat or some shit. Like I would try to squat as much as I can, and I would never hit depth ever. And I would just try to like lift as heavy as I can, because I thought that was gonna help me get bigger.
Did you do that on purpose because someone's telling you if you hit depth, it's bad for your knees or something?
Yeah, so people would always tell me that it was really bad for my knees. Like I could tear a ligament, I could tear my meniscus, and I was just like, oh shit, like I can't go low. And I had a really hard time trying to hit depth in the beginning when I started working out, because I would never hit depth, you know. I would always do a quarter squat all the time, and I felt it. Like my knees would always be hurting. I hurt my back, I hurt my bicep, like trying to lift as much as I can, which really sucks. And of course, like when it comes to diet, just eat chicken and rice and that's it. Like that's all you really need to eat, and like veggies. And I'm like, all right, cool, I'll just do that.
I have to be on the other side of the fence of this. I think and I apologize to anyone that's ever worked with me. I think with my ability
from the start?
No, I think with my ability to just always push the envelope and try new things, with that comes a lot of mistakes. So I might have been the person early on giving like the messed up advice. So
You're the guy in the
yeah. And you know what? Part of like being cool with the whole situation is owning that, because at the same time, how are you going to be innovative or push things in your industry, or how are you going to really learn unless you try different things? I've told people to do things that now looking back, I was just like, man, we probably shouldn't have done that. But with all those experiences, we did learn things through it, and we learned what not to do, what to do.
Yeah.
But part of the ability to grow as an athlete is to be open for those new ideas or trying things. I mean, I was basically doing like CrossFit type stuff before we even did. I was having people like bench for time for reps, then go out and flip car tires, then go into a sprint, and then come in. I've made someone, that's horrible. I made someone bear crawl on a treadmill before. For like, because it was cold outside, but I wanted to do bear crawl, so I had them doing bear crawls like on a treadmill. Yeah. And like probably
Were people watching? Like,
oh yeah, I did it in like a Globo gym. I was like 19. But the thing is, it whooped the dude's ass. Like it was a good workout, but I probably shouldn't have done that. Probably shouldn't have done a lot of things. But I think that it's making fun of myself. It's kind of humbling to do that. And the problem, we talked about this before, is like, I was a fitness professional at that time, but even at that point, I could point a finger at myself and say, hey, even the people that think they know what they're doing at the time, they were believing, like I believed in what I was doing was right, but it still can be wrong. Yeah. So a lot of that's gonna be like trusting your trainer, trusting who you work with. But one of the advice I did get that kind of screwed me up early on, nothing against CrossFit, I love CrossFit. But one of the people when I first got into CrossFit, they're like, all right, here's the metabolic pathways. Here's the way you should train. If you train in the anaerobic is the only place where you can increase your cardiovascular threshold and your anaerobic. But if you just train in your the metabolic of cardio, that's all you'll ever have. You'll never be able to tap into this. So I'm like, you're telling me if I go hard as shit on every workout, I will get better ultimately? They're like, yeah. So I would just unload on workouts right out the gate, which led me to always win the first round of a 3-round workout, and I would just blow up. But what I realized is that people would argue with me is I think that in workouts you have to know what the workout is for and why you're doing it, and it's actually not good to try to blow your face back on the beginning of a workout and just go as hard as you can and hold on.
Like if you have 26 miles, you try not to sprint the first 100 meters.
Exactly, but if you get into this concept this metabolic pathway for training is most optimal, or if you don't want to get into that, you just want to be more simple, the harder I go, the better I'll be, you have to look at what your workout is. And now as we look at programming for CrossFit athletes or powerlifting athletes, everything, it's what is the specific goal for today that leads to this goal? And ultimately, if you were to look at Major League Sports, right? Does a pitcher, when you have a pitcher, that's why they have variance in the pitches they throw. They don't just throw fastballs as hard as they can down the middle every time. You need to change it up, different things. They have pitching rotations. You can't expect an athlete literally to max out every single time. So I think that's a good way of saying that kind of jacked me up early on. And then some of the barbell stuff I used to do too, it was just what we do today, just maxing. And I was like,
max bear complex.
Just max everything, bench, squat, clean, push it, push the limits, push your body. And it teaches you some things, but probably not the most productive for life, It
probably wasn't advice I got too, but walking into any gym, all you do is see supplements. And so then taking a priority on supplements.
That's exactly what I was
I gotta
say
do
right
this,
now.
this, that, and then I'll gain 15 pounds on my bench. And I think that's obviously smart marketing.
I thought you were natty.
Yeah, it's prime real estate to advertise for you to buy.
Yeah, and so then that's all you see. First thing you go to an article website, first thing is supplements. Even on old school magazines, for it would say take your multivitamin, take your pre-workout, then 3 sets of 10 on the bench. You're like, all right.
Then take your post.
Yeah. And
but back in the day, I used to fucking take pre-workout, intra-workout, fat burner, casein protein, whey protein.
Slow digesting protein.
I would take everything because I'm like, okay, cool. All the top athletes are doing this, and so I need to do this too, and I know this is gonna help me get better. Taking my multivitamin, taking the fish oils, and I would spend so much money
I know.
on all this unnecessary shit, and now that I've been in the game for a while now, the only thing I really take is pre-workout and protein and
vitamin
that's it.
T.
Yeah, vitamin T. And maybe a multivitamin sometimes, but I don't even really care about supplements anymore. I don't take anything but sometimes protein, but mostly pre-workout.
I think the lesson learned here is that no matter where you are in your fitness journey, you're always gonna get some shitty advice, especially in the beginning. So it's really important to do your own research and get some conclusions for yourself. Peace.
Deuce.
So how has powerlifting changed over the years?
Let's go to the old guy.
What happened? What was the question?
How has powerlifting changed over the years?
Oh my God.